everybody. Welcome to another edition of Finally Friday.
All right.
I already know.
The
Hey,
game.
TGIF, friends.
Yes. We found Andre somewhere, so we let him come back on for
Welcome
another.
back,
episode.
buddy.
It's good to be back. It's good to
know.
be back with
How
the
was
team.
Mackinac?
It was Mackinac. The trees were just at the right height.
How many black people did you see?
A little sprinkle here and there.
Like little
But
chocolate morsels?
we
A
made
couple of
we-
chocolate chips up
we
in
made
Mackinac.
our way around. We made our way around, but it was cool nonetheless. But it's
I
good to be
love
back.
that.
Good to be back.
It's good to have
And it's
you.
finally Friday.
Thank
you know.
God.
Thank
It
God.
was
It's been
such
a long week.
It's like Mercury is in retrograde, and it has
What does
just
that
been-
mean? Like,
So,
I always see it's
basically,
Mercury's
it's
in
like-
Gatorade, retrograde. Like, what is
My
it?
friend says Mercury is in micrograde.
Yeah. Like, what does that mean?
So basically, from my understanding, is like
Oh, she don't even know.
it
Look
go
at
like
look at
it
the
means
Her
like
understanding.
Mercury
Disclaimer from
starts
her-
to
from her
reverse
understanding.
its trajectory, and it's trine against the coquettish Venus and all this other stuff.
How does that affect people?
So basically, it's like things just go wonky during Mercury retrograde. Like people say, like communication issues happen. And depending on whatever season it happens is in a specific zodiac sign. So right now,
The zodiac.
Mercury
Zodiac.
retrograde is
That's how
in
we get
Libra.
back
That's
to
how we
this.
get there. See, the only thing I know
Yeah.
about zodiacs is that I'm a Taurus. That's all I know.
Right, and so
That's all I
I know that I'm quote unquote a Cancer. So I looked at the Mercury retrograde thing, and it's just like whatever is supposed to happen over the next, I think it's till October 18th, but it's supposed to like flush out any relationships that aren't supposed to be in your life. They say like expect communication issues.
So look, we should probably figure out the
Like-
zodiacs of everyone who's in our show today.
Right, we should. What's your zodiac sign?
I was born March 1st, so whatever that is.
Oh my God, are you
do
a
that
Pisces?
witchcraft? That witchcraft.
I love
Don't
Pisces.
do
Are
that
you a
around here.
Pisces? Then
Don't
it
do it
means
around
that you
here.
probably are a Pisces, which is crazy because normally me and Pisces go like together like peanut butter and jelly.
Wow, it must be you then.
And all you do is
Yeah.
troll me, right?
It must be you.
It's me.
Well, we have, as always, a lot of hot topics to get into this
Yes.
week. It's sort of like a homecoming edition because we have a couple different college topics that we're touching on.
Yes. And it's almost homecoming season.
Homecoming season. Mine already happened. Shout out to Bowling Green State University.
You
Roll
know what?
along.
I
It's
know-
definitely cuffing season.
Right, cuffing season, and I do know that Tennessee State's homecoming is coming up the end of next month. My friend invited me. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go yet, but I'm excited. I've never been to HBC.
Okay.
I want to check it out.
For icebreakers.
Right.
Right. So we're talking University of Kentucky,
Yes.
and we're actually kicking it off talking about dorms. So, have y'all stayed in a dorm before?
Yes.
Yes.
Dorm. All right, cool. So in Washington, Western Washington University to be specific, they have created segregated dorms. So in these segregated dorms, the students have the option to join what is called the Black Affinity Housing Program. And so Western Washington University isn't the first campus to have segregated dorms. Stanford has it, University of Colorado, in addition to American University. And so the reactions from people online have mostly been negative, which I feel like they're mostly our palm-colored brethren and sisterin that have been reacting negatively. Because me, speaking as a black person, segregated dorms sound kind of lit.
Sound kind of lit. So in my mind, so when I first saw this, I did see that they said that it was at the behest of their black students, that they actually requested to have an area where they felt safe to be around people who look like them.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, I completely understand. I think that I would be interested to see how it would play out. It kind of reminds me of like Dear White People.
Yeah, that
You know
was a
how
scene
they-
because their whole. Cause this is just a floor of the dorm, so not
Yeah,
the whole
it's the
dorm,
fourth
just like a
floor.
floor of a dorm.
Yeah.
But in Dear White People, they had a whole dorm dedicated for black people, and that was
I
well,
forgot
that
the
was
name
that
of
was
it.
an Ivy League school.
Yeah, it
too,
was an
so.
Ivy League school, which, I mean, Western Washington obviously is a PWI. So I think there is an idea of they're just trying to promote inclusiveness. You know, I do feel like right now it's probably a little bit tough on our palm-colored brothers and sisters
But
from
who's
the mountains
who's
of
trying
Caucasus.
to promote inclusiveness? The school?
I think right now everybody is. I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think white people are scrambling right now because you can't afford to be racist in 2021.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Well, but that's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
irony, because you have people who would say, well, isn't it school being a little bit racist when you're trying to create this separation of students in dorms by race.
To that end, I would say they're not forcing the black students to only stay on this floor. They're presenting an option.
Yeah, it's an
They're presenting an
option.
option, but even the option doesn't create the perception that it's separate but equal. I mean, how do you try to define?
So I think, to Alan's point, I think if they were saying like, hey, are you a black student? Let me show you where the blacks stay. You know, I think it's more like if this is something that you're looking forward to, or if this is, you want to feel a more familiar environment, maybe you feel more comfortable around a certain race of people who look like you, then we have this option for you. I think it's more so about comfort, but I do understand how the waters in this situation can get muddy very, very fast if the lines aren't clearly defined, that this is something optional and this is not something to promote like segregation in a negative sense.
Well, what I'm interested in is so I'm interested to see how this all plays out. I mean, are we going to have, what are the signs, or are there going to be policies and signs that say blacks only?
No, I think it's sort of going to be like a HBCU. Like white people can go to a HBCU. It's just mostly black people there.
Yeah, I think it just depends on your comfort and
so white people can go to the black dorms, right?
They can stay on a different floor.
That's where it gets a little bit murky, because I can see the issues popping up where, to white people, they're gonna feel like excluded. Although I get it, we felt excluded too so many years ago.
I feel like,
not to get to wear the shoe.
At this point,
they can go anywhere else on campus.
Concerned about that.
I know. Think about how big that campus is, and think about how many white people go there. Any space they enter, they automatically feel comfortable.
I low key could see Black Affinity House like being so lit that they might have like a waiting list, because it's only one floor in the dorm, so everything else is primarily, has white people on it. So I can see
I'm waiting to see the issue when a white person wants to be a part of that particular floor and they're excluded.
I can see it being a PR nightmare. Yeah. I can see somebody's lawyers or parents or alumni getting involved, saying, hey, I pay just as much as tuition as so-and-so, and they deserve to have the right to. But I think if you really just educating people about why this space exists, and it came from a request from current students, I think hopefully it'll last. I don't want to see it get canceled before it even gets started. So.
Yeah.
I think of it more right now. I feel like it's more of a social experiment than anything, to see how the students respond to it.
Yeah.
I think definitely some people are just going to want to raise hell, because that's what we have. We're very rebellious people. So I think somebody's bound to have an issue with everything. But I think the problem here is that they're trying to eliminate everybody having an issue. So it's like, let's just see if this could be a viable solution.
Let's create this space.
Yeah, let's just create this space for them, so it's optional. But if it doesn't work out, I can definitely see them going back to the
And it's affinity black, right?
Black affinity housing. Yeah. But even on past social, even on a hygiene level, like black people are typically cleaner. Like we shower every day. We don't sleep with like food in our bed. We're a little bit. Well, think about it, because my experience.
What does that say?
Are you tapping into that argument of that topic of white people don't need to? That topic of the celebrities talking about, white people, we don't really need to shower every day.
I stayed in a dorm that unfortunately it was open to everybody, and in my experience, I had community bathrooms, and in those bathrooms you see a lot of foul stuff. Mainly coming from, our palm-colored brethren.
Where do we go with this?
I don't think we can necessarily say that on air. I think that I'm just interested to see what this little
I'm just saying the pros and cons.
I don't know if it has anything to do with cleanliness. I think it has everything to do with, we want black people to know that they are safe and they're thought of on campus, so we created a space specifically for you. It just so happens in order for them to, we need to be addressing the fact that why the safe space includes not having white people on it. So I hope Western Washington, that you not only are making a safe space for black people, but you're also educating all of your students on why this specific floor is where the black people have to go to be safe, and why they don't feel like they should be there. They feel safe included with the rest of your students. Now that's the program that I want to know about.
True. But while we're on the topic of campuses, University of Kentucky football players. So way back in March, there was a frat party here held near the campus of the University of Kentucky. And usually, I don't know, have you all been to a frat party?
Yes.
Usually how it goes at especially a white frat party, is they'll ask you, well, who do you know here, or something like that. And I'm just assuming I don't know. But that's probably something that happened, or like, what are you doing here? So they weren't necessarily welcomed to this party, and alcohol was, of course, involved. and racial slurs were exchanged. So the football players leave. They come back and bring 3 other football players to address the comments that were made previously. An altercation happened, and
it was a clash.
Yes, a clash, if you would to say. And the police report was filed. In the report, the white frat was trying to make it seem like it was want to charge them with burglary because they were, trespassing, and they tried to make an account that a gun was present and things of that nature. So after a summer of investigation, these 6 football players missed summer camp, missed a couple of the games. Football season has started. Now they've been reinstated because the grand jury decided not to indict any of the football players. So they've been cleared of all charges. So nice to see the justice system working for some black people. That's always great to hear. But this story, it was a complex. Like, it was
very because if it was a frat party, was it exclusive to the people who are part of the frat? That's my
the thing.
question.
It's a frat party. A frat party is never like really invite only.
Yeah, so I feel like in this situation, first thing I want to say, white people, stop playing with black people. Stop playing with us. Stop playing in our faces and stop this other. We don't want to have to come back and beat y'all ass. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but we don't want to.
It's said now.
Right, But I think also for me, I would be thinking about why they felt comfortable, like, so quickly how they wanted to frame this story as that they were being robbed. Like,
it goes back to the entitlement.
Like, that to me is like, why was that the first thing that we were being robbed? So we want to press charges on these people and we're not addressing it. I'm happy to hear that. I'm not happy that these black football players felt that they needed to defend themselves in that way and that they were not welcome. I'm not happy to hear that that's traumatic. To feel like you have to defend yourself constantly and all you want to do is hang out here, party a little bit.
Yeah, I think what's unfortunate, we see a lot of stories like this where
there's no happy ending.
There's no happy ending, and some things are exaggerated to a point. But it's good to see that the justice system came out on these black players, and
I want black people to feel comfortable, and y'all should hang out. I don't like hearing that a fight had to break out. And it definitely had to have been something because you go back and get your homeboys, like you had to go and drive and walk back. So you had time to think about it.
You was like, what? Let me go get some backup because
do I need to call?
A lot of y'all right now.
Do I need to call the defensive team or the
the offensive team?
The offensive team, right?
The offensive team. I see what you did there.
Right. The offensive team, because we about to y'all violating. So, because in my mind, you had time to leave. You had to go rally these people, tell them what happened, get them amped up too. So y'all went back. So I would be interested to say, what did y'all say at that frat party? Because clearly y'all had it coming.
Yeah, let the record show what was said. And to be fair, since this was last March, this was during COVID, so that frat is actually on probation, not only for that altercation, because they had a big gathering during COVID when the university said you're not supposed to be having these parties at all.
You shouldn't have been having a party no way.
So it goes from a touchdown to a throwdown.
Okay. That's what you did there. Right? How long you wrote it down?
No, I wrote it in my head.
And I feel like charges only fouled because they probably lost that fight.
Right.
And if you lose a fight 6 versus, it's a frat party, so there's got to be at least 10 other people there.
Yeah, I would have to say that, if you get beat up bad, I would come. They had a gun.
No excuse of why you lost. Bro, it wasn't my fault.
They had a gun, bro.
No referees in that fight.
Bro, what was I supposed to do, bro? They had a gun, dog. Didn't have no gun.
Hilarious. But speaking of other things that's been in the news, did you see about the $84,000 cash incident?
Yes.
All right, so this, unfortunately, this wasn't in America. This was in Denmark. So a museum.
This was a real theft.
This is a real theft. Literally.
This is the burglary.
Well, a theft is in air quotes because it's
alleged
theft. So in Denmark, a museum commissioned an artist to do, he had done previous works where he used cash in his artwork. So they gave him $84,000 cash under the impression that he would use this in his artwork. So to their surprise, when the art was delivered, it was 2 blank canvases.
This is so funny to me.
As you see here.
Wow.
So I guess the artist isn't to blame.
Wait, tell me what the name of the.
The name of the thing. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull
it
up.
Y'all gotta hear the name of the actual. So he said.
The name of the actual thing is "Take the Money and Run." That's what he titled
See, it is up to one's own interpretation of what is considered art.
Exactly.
You know, so I think that, look, this no doubt that this is clearly burglarism.
Or burglarism? Is that the word?
I just came up with it. But you know what? I blame it on the art commission for this was bad business practice to give this money all up at front.
I can only blame them because it would be different if this was his first kind of painting, but it was sort of a precedence because he's had works in 2010 and in 2007. The first work was called An Average Danish Annual Income, where he used cash in his artwork. And then the other exhibit was called An Average Austrian Annual Income. So he's done paintings, or whatever you want to call it, art with cash in the past. So the precedent was set. So they're thinking, if nothing else, they're using this cash to do whatever form of art that he so deemed. But I guess is how much freedom or licensing does he have as the artist, I guess is the real question.
He took a day off.
You know what? I think it's, as you guys know, I love art. So I think it's extremely clever, first of all. And also, sorry, I feel like it really is left up into interpretation because that story is going to be iconic. It's going to go down in the history forever. So as an artist, that was like PR genius, like he really took the money and run. And because I would be interested to see, did the writer or did the contract say that he had to use the money for the purpose of
no, the contract stated that the museum, he could get an additional 6,000 euros to update the artwork if needed. But the work was supposed to be done.
I think he said $84,000 was enough.
It was enough
to do nothing. And
he did something.
He did something. He gave him the camp. Didn't he put them in frames too?
Yeah.
They were framed. Yeah. So it's left up into interpretation. But I think iconically,
so the frame is the update. Give them 6,000 too, I guess.
Every great artist, it takes a certain level of creative genius to even come up with something like that. Because he could have made some kind of grandiose painting and slapped, 84 grand in it. But he was like, I got an idea.
And to be fair, I think the museum is getting more press.
I was about to say
that. If he would have did an actual painting.
I was exactly about to say.
I would have never heard of it if he never.
And I was about to say that.
Museum?
I don't know. It's in Denmark somewhere.
Denmark Museum or whatever the museum name is called. You guys are probably going to get so much more press. You're going to get so many visitors who come to see this. I mean, y'all got forced a little bit, but you're probably going to make the money back in this.
Do you think they should really frame it?
I think they should put it up and let it be an exhibit.
Yeah, because I think people are going to be looking for it. Like, where's that blank exhibit?
People will go just to take photos with it. You know, like take the money and run. I think even it's memeable. The fact that we're talking about it right now just kind of lets you know, like he understood the assignment.
Yeah, I think both parties are better because of it. Like this artist's name is going to be out there a little bit more. Matter of fact, I should probably say his name.
I don't know.
And the museum can be like, this is how we almost pretty much got ripped off.
Jens Hanning. That's the artist's name. Jens Hanning. So Jens Hanning, you're on the map. Like I didn't know who you were before.
Jens, I hope this does not impact your ability to get further commission projects in the future.
Which it shouldn't, because it's like you can't pull something like this again.
Yeah, and I can see people.
You gotta be original.
Looking for blank canvases at different museums all across the country. I don't think you can pull this off.
That can't be a niche thing. You gotta be a one-time.
I think the 84,000 should hold them over for a little bit, and I would take this time and that money and your resources and create like a beautiful project. So I think I'm gonna follow up on this artist as he does next.
As we should.
Because what a great way to get your name out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got some new fans.
And it was legally. Like, you legally just made $84,000.
Legally, incredibly.
Right, incredibly. So I find it amazing. I think it's great.
Well, speaking of taking the money and run, we have our weekend to run too. So
we do. The NAACP dinner is this weekend.
That's
excited.
This weekend?
That is this weekend. So hopefully we will see some of you guys there on Sunday. The Ashes will be in the building.
Check it out. Anything else happen this weekend? I think that's
it. Oh, I'm excited to see Venom. That came out
Theaters?
yesterday. Yeah, it came out yesterday on Thursday, and I'm like super excited. I'm a huge Tom Hardy fan.
I have to still catch up on Clickbait.
Clickbait and Squid Game on Netflix.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. They've been talking about Squid Game.
Definitely gotta binge it and check it out. All right, we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend, you guys.